God's vitality among us, we are church. That is the theme of this year's Synod Assembly that was to take place June 4th through the 6th in St. Louis. And then the world changed. COVID-19 hit, and in this time of pandemic, we suspended many in-person gatherings, including many of our worship services for several weeks, as well as the Synod Assembly. So the Synod Council, acting on behalf of the Assembly, will be adopting a budget, voting on resolutions, and taking care of other business of the Synod. We will also be recognizing the anniversaries of our rostered folks. All of that information you will find included in this email. While we are not having a Synod Assembly in person this year, the theme of the Assembly, God's vitality among us, we are church, is nevertheless incredibly true. We have seen God's vitality among us during these times when communities of faith and different ministries have continued their work in so many wonderful, creative ways, continuing to proclaim the gospel, to worship God, to reach out to the needs of the community. The church has indeed not closed. And we will need to continue to remember, to claim, and to rely on God's vitality among us as we move forward to continue to address the needs in this changing time and culture, to continue to get clarity about our purpose when we cannot do things the way we've always done them before. That's not such a bad thing. This is a time for great creativity and discernment, knowing that God's vital spirit is indeed moving among us. And the world has changed again. Actually, it hasn't really changed. We have just seen years of pent-up frustration and anger and hurt and injustice that has boiled over in this country as we have seen how racist systems and procedures and ways of being in this country have not only led to disproportionate numbers of persons of color being affected by the pandemic, but once again, an unarmed Black person being killed by police. The text that I was going to use for my sermon, my opening sermon for the assembly, comes from the Gospel of Matthew. It is part of Jesus' sermon in the Beatitudes. You are the salt of the earth. But if salt has lost its taste, how can its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything, but is thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be hid. No one, after lighting a lamp, puts it under the bushel basket, but on the lampstand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven. We are the church. In such a time and in such a place, this world needs us even more strongly to be the church, whatever it means to be salt for the earth. We need to claim that and not lose our saltiness. We are a light of reconciliation, a light of peace, a light of justice, a light that proclaims so strongly, so brightly that each and every person is uniquely valued. And we have the courage, because remember, God's vitality is among us, to shine that light on systems and structures, and even in our own hearts, to examine the ways we have all participated in a society where people are denied their basic rights, where people continue to experience fear simply being on the street. We are the church. We would have heard message after message and experienced it in our worship and by our speakers during the assembly. We would have gathered together in conversation to talk about who we are as a church and what it means to go forward. Those conversations must and will continue to happen. For again, we are the church. And so for this time as we move forward, let us claim our identity. Let us claim our purpose. Let us be the church, so that this world can see the light of the gospel of Jesus Christ and give glory to God in heaven and bring peace and reconciliation on earth. May you continue to be the church, and may we go forward together, God's vitality strong among us, being the church to which we are called. Thank you.